Welcome to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm glad to see you again. I am excited today to talk about five-star predictions. I have not yet done a five-star prediction video. I see a lot of people film those. I love them. I get a lot of great ideas from five-star prediction videos. So maybe this will help you to get some good ideas about what to read next, or it might give you an opportunity to tell me what you thought about one of these books and whether or not you gave it 5 stars. I do have a bit of an order to a couple of these reads, and you'll find out why in just a moment. So let's get started. The first one is Where the Crawdads Sing by, I think it's Delia Owens, although I heard somebody the other day say Delia Owens, which surprised me. So I may be wrong. This is the first on my list for an obvious reason. This is a library copy. So I just got it. I've been on the list for it. I need to read it soon. It's a good sized book. It is over 350 pages, but I've heard that it's pretty compelling. And because it's been so long on the list for me to receive it from the library, I have a feeling that it's good. So this follows a character named Kaya, but she's called the Marsh Girl. It's set in the South, and I think it's a bit of a murder mystery, I have heard. One of the reasons that I chose this as a five-star prediction is not only because it has a long waiting list at the library, but also because it has a 4.52 rating on Goodreads, which is a pretty strong rating. Let me be clear that some of the choices that I made were based on ordering my to read list in a way on Goodreads that would allow me to see what some of the highest rated books that are on my list came in at, and this was near the top of the list. So this will be the book I begin tonight or tomorrow, because I'm finishing up something hopefully by the end of the night tonight. But I may not finish the rest of these till the end of the year. So it'll be December at the latest before you get a wrap up video on the rest of these books. The Last Train to London by Meg Waite Clayton. This is an author that I have liked in the past, and I received this advanced reader's copy of this novel. It comes out September 10th. So one of the reasons this is on my list of five-star predictions is because I'm familiar with the author. Another is it's got good ratings already on Goodreads, even though there are not a lot of them. They're only the ARC reader ratings so far. And it's a World War II historical fiction novel. So I feel like it will be something that I really enjoy. This follows an orphan train for children who were displaced by the Nazis, and it particularly goes through the life of Stephen Newman. His family is Jewish, and his best friend is a Christian, and the two teenagers are stripped away, and their mother is arrested by, or one of their mothers is arrested by the Gestapo. So what happens to the children who are motherless or parentless is always an interesting read to me. This is a pretty hefty read. It is 440 pages. I have some traveling yet in my summer future, so I would like to finish this by September 10th. I plan on reading this in August. So this and Where the Crawdads Sing are time sensitive for me. The next book on my list is We Were the Lucky Ones by Georgia Hunter, which is also historical fiction. It is set in the spring of 1939 when the invasions first began, and it follows the Kirk family, and they are Jewish, and they are all spread across continents. I bought this book because it was a staff pick at a bookstore, an independent bookstore that I love. It has been really hyped as a great debut novel by this author, and it too got 4.40 stars on Goodreads. So I have a feeling between those recommendations and between the ratings online that this is going to be a great read. And again, World War II historical fiction, yeah, I'm going to like it. I very rarely give those books less than 5 stars. Another book I think I will give 5 stars to is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This is a nonfiction memoir written by Trevor Noah, who is the host of The Daily Show. He replaced Jon Stewart several years ago. What a great testimony to his ability that he still has a great viewership, because Jon Stewart was kind of this iconic, no one thought that The Daily Show would go on without him, and look what Trevor Noah has done. In addition to his work with The Daily Show, he's written a book about his life in South Africa, having been born to an interracial couple, a white and a black parent, and I can't quite remember and don't want to get it wrong which one was white and which one was black. But in South Africa, that intermingling of parents and having an interracial child or a biracial child was a criminal act at the time that he was born. So it follows, I think, him and his mom's story for the most part, and what happened to him growing up and what lessons he has learned as a result of the laws that used to exist in South Africa. I've heard amazing things about this book. I cannot wait to read it. I think it's being made into a movie, and it also received 4.46 stars on Goodreads as an average rating. It has been very well read and very hyped in a lot of the BookTube channels that I follow. Finally, and this is going to be a tough one and probably won't get read until the end of the year, one of my favorite authors is Diana Gabaldon. She has written 8 novels thus far and has a 9th novel coming out at some point when she's ready. I saw her recently in person at a Comic-Con and heard her read from her new book, but it's not quite there. I have read all the books prior to this 7th book, but when I started to read this 7th book, which is called An Echo in the Bone, a few years ago, I got it for my birthday the year that it came out, I discovered that it had been so long since I had read the one before. There's a gap of several years typically between her books. I couldn't remember what had happened and who did what and when and why. Now there's a series out on Stars called Outlander, and they are up to Drums of Autumn, which is the 5th book, I think. 4th or 5th book. 4th, maybe. But they have departed from the books a little bit, and that bothers me because I like, of course, the book first, and the adaptation is good. It's well done, but they've taken some liberties. So I would like to read this book again and finish it, because I didn't. I already have a bookmark in it that I think goes well from the New York Public Library, just because it's black and gold and it seems like it would be nice. I'm just weird like that. However, for me to pick this up, there are a couple of rules. One is that I have to get caught up with the other books, and I'm just finishing Dragonfly and Amber now, which is the 2nd book. So you can see I have a bit of listening and reading to do. Probably listening because they're so dense. Secondly, this book is 814 pages long. That's going to take me some time. So I may tell you at the end of the year, gosh, I didn't finish my 5-star predictions because I could not get through all of the other books prior to An Echo in the Bone. Are they all as long as this one? Some are, but most are not. They're very dense. They're very enjoyable. At least they were when I read them 25, 30 years ago. Maybe no, maybe even longer when they first came out. But I really do. I am committed to this. There's one after this, book 8. So, of course, if I finish this one, I would like to finish book 8. The good news is that my goal for reading this year was 40 books. I met that goal a week or so ago. So I upped the goal to 50. But once I get to 50, I'm not going to change that goal again. So honestly, books like this and like The Passage and some of the other larger books that are on my list to read will happen more easily when I don't feel like I'm trying to meet a goal. So I would really like to finish this one this year if I can. The other reason why this one is important is because it is on my list of top 9 in 2019. And I have done okay with that, but I feel like I need to get on it. And this is one that is shorter than some of the others. So I feel like that is a book that I can pretty easily read within the next couple of months. Now, I would love to know whether these books were 5-star predictions from you. Some BookTube channel hosts do reach out to their listeners and viewers and say, hey, give me some suggestions for 5-star predictions. I do plan to do that in 2020, but I am a pretty small channel so far, so I don't have a ton of readers at this point, and a lot of a ton of readers, a ton of viewers at this point, and a lot of the viewers that I do have that regularly comment have already read some of the books that I've read. So I think I need to just choose these for now, help myself meet some of my goals, which are to be able to return this library book when it's due, to read this ARC copy on time, to read another top 9 in 2019 so I can check that off the list, to get caught up a little bit more on my Diana Gabaldon reads, and to be able to read a book that I've really wanted to read for a while and just haven't gotten it on my list. Having said that, I have a lot of lists. I have a nonfiction stack. I have a summer read stack. I have a top 9 in 2019 stack. So I'm discovering that I really need to be pretty calculated about what I'm going to read in the next few months. It is August. And honestly, that frightens me on so many levels. There is so much more to do in 2019, and I want to be able to do it all. So the best way to do that is to be intentional, to be realistic, and to be able to read those things that I really love the most while working and playing with my family and making beautiful, creative things. Do you ever feel like there's just not enough time in your life to do all the things that you want to do? So those are my 5-star predictions. They're all rated at least 4.40 or higher on Goodreads. And I can't wait to take a look. And I hope that you will let me know if you've read these books or if you plan to read them as well, or just tell me what your 5-star predictions are between now and the end of the year. As always, I hope you have a very, very happy reading day. Bye.